today. Creighton Waters began and finished a very powerful closing argument today, saying that there is only one person in the courtroom who had the motive, the means, the opportunity, and the guilty conduct after the crimes. That one person, he says, is Alex Murdaugh.
Here is a little of what the prosecution had to say to jurors today.
On June 7th, 2021, at the Moselle property in Colleton County, Maggie Murdaugh and Paul Murdaugh were brutally and maliciously murdered at the kennels by Alex Murdaugh. Paul, as you know, suffered 2 shotgun blasts. Maggie suffered 5 blackout rifle wounds. And after an exhaustive investigation, there is only one person who had the motive, who had the means, who had the opportunity to commit these crimes, and also whose guilty conduct after these crimes betrays him.
Well, there you hear that statement he made both at the beginning and at the end today of his closing arguments. Another powerful point he made is he told the jury, you've got to be the common sense here. You have got to apply common sense. He said, to believe Alex Murdaugh, you have to believe that there was a 5'2" vigilante who knew Maggie and Paul would be at Moselle. Remember, Paul did not live at Moselle, and Maggie was down at the Edisto Beach House, but she told her housekeeper that Alex had called and asked her to come home. But he said that the killer would have known that they were at the kennels. The killer also would have not brought guns, assuming that they would find guns there. The killer also wouldn't have to know that Alex was going to be gone. And then the killer would somehow arrive between 8:49 and 9:02. And also, don't forget, the killer would wrap up the hose and put the dogs up. So very powerful testimony today talking, and he still made a point again and again, JR, to talk about the fact that when it was the most important time for a husband and a father to tell the truth to investigators, he lied. And he lied immediately, even before he says he was intimidated by SLED or uncomfortable by SLED or didn't trust SLED because he had pills in his pocket. But Creighton Waters replayed the 911 tape with Alex saying, I took a nap for 45 minutes and then I went to my mom's for an hour and a half and hadn't seen my family since then.
You mentioned the water hose at the crime scene. Well, today, Creighton Waters is also telling the jury that the state believes that Murdaugh actually washed off at the scene of the crime. He showed photos of the puddles of water at the crime scene, telling the jury it wouldn't take long to strip down, wash off, then head back to the house, start making the phone calls, trying to establish some sort of alibi.
And let's not forget that there was the earlier testimony by his neighbor who tended to his dog kennels, who said those puddles that were taken at the crime scene were not from him at 4 o'clock that day when he had rinsed off the dog kennels. So let's get down now to our girl.